Alright, mongrels, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap. Artwod is, what is it? What the fuck are they again? Oh yes, they're the only reason I can draw as well as I can. Got baited! Right? Because of artwod, I can do this. Ta-da! Yes, been drawing for 3 years, 2 months. Artwod is an online art platform that actually gives you the work, right? And actually learning spatial reasoning, learning how to play with form, learning form in general and form manipulation, right? It's all because of them. Right, this skill that you see is because of them, right? Is this specifically the exercises they give you? No, they give you very simple form manipulation exercises. Not simple, sorry. Very it's simple in the sense that it's simple to understand, not simple to enact. None of this is simple to enact, right? But either way, yeah, fucking link in description. You know, I'm a shill, not a dick. I'm a dick rider and a shill, but not affiliated. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. And draw along, yada yada yada, draw along, right? If you actually want to know what the fuck this is all about and who I am, click on my channel, go to my go to the home tab, and you'll see my intro video, and that will explain everything. Just watch the first 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is all you need, right? And then you can fuck off if you're interested or not interested. I think you can give 10 minutes of your time, considering you probably jerk off to TikToks every day, anyways. So for at least 3 hours. So with that out of the way, what are we doing? We're looking at a portrait reference on the left, right, on my iPad. We are trying to project a box onto it, and then we're trying to project a sphere inside that box, and the center lines inside that sphere inside the box. If that sounds extremely difficult, it is, because art's a fucking skill that requires a shit ton of thinking. If that shocks you, congratulations, your eyes have now been awoken to the reality of what this skill actually is like, right? I didn't do this with my hands, really, I did this with my mind, right? But anyways, what else? What other shit do I say in my intros? Yeah, nothing important so far. Okay, anyways, draw along. Anybody who wants to draw along is a fan and already like knows the deal with drawing along, then fucking get to it. Otherwise, fuck off, literally fuck off my channel. So so the portrait I chose, oh, and give me retention, right? Fuck off, give me retention, background, subscription, likes, right? That's my little, haha, meme, get lost, but actually don't, right? But anyways, what is this portrait reference? It is a front view, right? And I'm very confident it is below, right? I'm pretty sure this is the plane I'm looking at. Something like this. The beautiful thing and the beautiful difficulty of this, right, is the fact that because faces have curves, whether it's fat and it's convex or it's, you know, flat and, you know, cheekbones are prominent and it's concave. No, that's wrong. God damn it, concave is going inwards, right? Like if this is flat, this is concave, like it's going in, convex is coming out. I don't fucking know. A pimple is convex, I believe. I don't fucking know. But I'm pretty sure this is the bottom plane I'm looking at here, right? I'm certain in the sense that I believe it's what it is. Now, what's fucky about this guy's face is the fact that here's his eyes, right? And then I'm using the ears as an indicator to let me know what perspective this is in. So obviously, like, his ears are back here, right? And this is just me thinking out loud. But this is what I mean, this is the beauty of it, is the fact that his face is fucking... it is not diverging, right? Because then his jaw comes out and it comes out like this and it's like that, right? You know, and then we don't even see the bottom of his jaw because his jaw is very sharp, right? And his jaw, I believe, what is it? It's not the ramus, it's the mandible. The length of his mandible is clearly not that long because we don't see an underside to his jaw, not even a little bit, right? So it must be quite close to his neck, right? But does that mean his face is fucking outward like this? No, because his face, like I said, like his ear, like this shit is coming inward, right? So what does that mean? That means the planes of his face are projecting outward, but I still need to find out what is the perspective. And the perspective, from my understanding, is the fact that if we just project his face onto a box, like so, it's still going inwards. Right, like this is the 1 point perspective essentially, and that's what I make of it. This could be correct, this could be incorrect. I don't know if that explained it well enough, but the point I'm trying to make is people's faces are manipulated within the box perspective, within the grid perspective, and those manipulations, people's faces angles change, right? The angles of their faces are not like we're not flat planes. Like if you look at the side of my face or your face, right, from the bottom, you know, let's just say that's your nose and those are your eyes, whatever, right? Your face is not fucking flat. You know, you don't have, this is not the goddamn plane of your face. It's more like this, right? And on top of that, you know, like, oh, cheekbones going in, blah, 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 whatever. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing there. I don't understand cheekbones. But anyways, I think the point is made clear that the difficulty, and again, while I'm talking, I'm drawing in my mind already. I've already begun drawing in my mind, as in I'm constantly looking at this portrait reference and I'm constantly trying to understand whether the perspective that box is correct and how, and to constantly try to project a sphere inside that box, right? And with the center lines inside the sphere, inside the box, right? So I do believe, I yabba dabba do believe that that is the case, right? I do think, because of the fact that in connection to his ear, right? Because let's just say that's actually like the size of his the face plane, right? Like, yeah, it's gonna go outward, but the box is actually going inward, right? I think that makes sense. It makes sense to me, because of the fact that the face, the planes of the face are jutting inwards, right? They're going inwards. Like the planes of the face are literally going inwards, right? But they're going inwards while being contained inside this box. And why am I saying that it's 1 point perspective and it's converging towards 1 point, right? And it's from the bottom. Well, this angle to the ear is dictating that it's from the bottom angle, right? Because his eyes are like this, you know, and his nose, blah, 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 his lips, whatever. But the whole point is that I look at the ratio between, or the angle between the eye, right, and the ear, and that's the angle. It is this angle, right? But then it's going inside the box, so it's going towards a 1 point perspective somewhere further away, is the way I'm seeing it. And why is it? Okay, like, let me try to explain to myself why it's a 1 point perspective. Because again, if I can explain to myself and it makes sense, then hopefully I can explain to you and it makes some sort of relative sense. Oh, by the way, I really hope you're drawing along or doing some sort of portraiture or practicing artwod or practicing your fundamentals. Get a fucking pen out, not a pencil. If you're using a pencil, shove that shit up your ass and get a pen out. All right, you're here to build confidence, not to go over the same line over and over and over, or like do something like, one line, oh, okay, another line, oh, okay, another line, oh, I'm gonna go over the line again. Like, you're not here to do that, okay? Or if you are here to do that, stop doing it and build new, better habits, right? I have nothing against pencil, by the way, right? If you're able to use a pencil like a pen, as in confident lines, go ahead. But I'm gonna bet 90% of the people listening or watching to this or whatever the fuck are drawing along are not using a pencil like a professional uses a pencil with intent, right? You're probably going over the same line multiple times or doing that shit where like people do like 3 lines to define the form, right? Oh, let me just draw a box, but use fucking 4 lines just to draw one plane. Oh, look at me, I'm so confident. No, that's not confident. You're unconfident, which is why you keep going over that line again, right? So if you're not using a pencil like a pen, get the fuck off the pencil and get onto the pen, right? But anyways, I do believe this is a 1 point perspective. It makes the most sense to me. Unfortunately, it seems like I can't articulate why it makes the most sense to me, right? It might be a wide angle. It definitely might not be converging as much as I made it seem here, right? But this is extremely difficult. So first, why don't we just start with the plane of the box? Because I for sure know it's at least like a relatively flat plane, right? So why don't we just start with, and again, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the box, I'm thinking about the sphere inside the box, and I'm thinking about the center lines, vertical and horizontal, inside the sphere, inside the box. Am I doing it perfectly? No. Am I only really retaining it for like 30% of the time I'm actually saying it? Yes. Right? And is that still beneficial to my learning? Yes. Because it's not how much am I doing it, in the sense that it's not how well am I doing it to my expectations, it's fuck my expectations, how much am I simply trying, right? And the answer is I'm trying quite a bit, right? I'm trying quite a bit. So let's see, something like, yeah, there you go. Now, again, the bottom of his face. Are we seeing the bottom of his face? I believe we are. We have to be. This is actually extremely difficult, and I'm loving how difficult this is, right? Because I have to think, because this is a 2D image, right? So that there's also 3-dimensionality lost in translation. But if I simply try to project myself to being in front of this man, right? To actually being in the reality that this man exists in the same plane, the same dimension, and then try to extrapolate the reality of that dimension onto, again, a 2D plane, which is my paper. If I try to think about it that way, what would I see? I believe it is 1 point perspective. Yeah, I genuinely do believe it's 1 point perspective. Yeah, because his ears are basically jutting out like this. Right? Okay, actually his ears are supposed to be lower, so I already fucked that up. Just pretend like his ears are lower. That's a mistake on my end. But, and then how drastic would the convergence be? This seems like a long lens. So I feel as if it's not that drastic at all. It's kind of something like this. Very subtle. Very, very subtle. It's beautiful because my lines are up. Look at that little wiggle. You guys all saw that little wiggle right there? Right, that's called a fuck up. It's called a fuck up. And again, like trying to think about... Now the beautiful thing is at least I know the center line, like the horizontal center line, is definitely like a proper ellipse. But the vertical center line, because his face is essentially even on both sides of his plane, both planes of his face, like the left and right side, both sides of his face, yeah, whatever. The front of his face, even when it comes to the ellipse, or the sphere, apologies, is going to be quite flat. Right? It's really hard to think while drawing, but I swear I'm getting better of thinking of these 3 dimensions, these 3 layers of perspective: box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box, while talking as well, right? Like that is a skill. If you genuinely try it out, draw and think as hard as you can while you're drawing. Think about anything spatial reasoning related and genuinely put as much effort as you can into it, and then just start talking and do what I do, right? I talk about random shit. I talk about what I'm thinking of, right? I go on tangents and all that shit. Try that. Just give it a shot for 5 minutes straight. You'll see how much it hurts and how you're barely able to contain your levels of focus, right? But it's a skill like any other, and because it's a skill, I've gotten a lot better at it. Like I genuinely am able to talk while thinking about the spatial reasoning like a solid 50 to 60% of the time, right? And it's becoming more intuitive as I do it, of course. Like it's all being calculated and becoming much more intuitive as I do it. Now, I don't know if this bottom plane is correct. That I'm not sure about, right? That I'm not sure about. Maybe it should be a bit longer, but again, that would fuck with the symmetry of the... Yeah, that would fuck with the symmetry of the box. And again, it's not as if his face is not tilted that much upwards, right? Yeah, his face is definitely not tilted that much upwards at all. Really, not at all. It's like a slight tilt upwards. And I've been doing a lot of paying attention. And when I'm at the gym now, I've said this before, like, obviously it feels a little bit like I'm fucking creeping on people, but I'm genuinely just looking at people and essentially just trying to put their heads in boxes and trying to understand where my eyes, right, the horizon line, eye level, like where the logic of that exists in perspective, right? And it's been helping quite a bit just in terms of like getting that practice in, because yeah, obviously, like, I'm doing my best not to hardcore stare at people. Obviously, I'm doing my fucking best to not hardcore stare at people, right? But it's genuinely becoming extremely helpful. Like I would suggest anybody who's at this point, I guess, when it comes to practicing their portraiture, right? Or just wants to practice spatially reasoning individuals around them, give it a shot. Genuinely, it's gonna make a huge difference, I would say. Like I honestly think it's making a huge difference because it's kind of like it's a fact, right? Like Kim Jong-il said, do not draw what you've observed, do not draw what you observe, draw what you have observed. But then obviously observing, the whole thing is like whether you draw what you observe or you draw what you have observed, right? At the end of the day, it is just a fact that observation is king when it comes to artists, right? Like whether we're observing a reference, whether we're observing the world around us, or whether we're observing how something functions and just anything. Like we get our visual library through our observation, whatever the means of that observation is, right? And yes, there will be opinions on what is more, what's better, right? Like what is better, what is more fucking efficient, what's this, what's that, and I'm sure there is. Right? I guess I can ascribe to the opinion that drawing what you remember is going to be better for recall and like actual cementing things, because you will be, recall is like the number one way to learn anything. Like recall is literally the number one way to actually cement things in your long-term memory, right? So I would personally say that, yeah, like drawing what you have observed is extremely important, but that doesn't mean that observation only in that context is important. Observation in all contexts is extremely helpful as an artist, right? Even now, what am I observing? Like, what am I observing right now? Apart from the reference, what am I observing? I'm literally observing something that I'm projecting from my mind onto the page, which is a box, a sphere inside the box, and center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? That, and of course, like again, like these ears are gonna be lower, by the way. Like I did fuck that up. These ears should be like a lot lower. They should actually be. Let me actually put the ears in their correct perspective, because this doesn't make sense. Like this actually, if you look at it from this perspective, his ears look way too high, right? So this is actually the correct ear position, you know, something like this. Also, I have that fucking song stuck in my head. If I could never fall in love till I found you. I don't even think those are lyrics, but I think until I found you, whatever. Right? Yeah, that is more correct. Right? And that already helps me reframe what's happening in terms of the horizontal center line. But yeah, like, dude, it makes a huge fucking difference. Observation is key. Observation is key. And again, like, I will say visualization is definitely an extension of observation, because visualization is just kind of you're observing something in your mind, right? In your mind's eye. And again, I do see people comment. I've seen some people on my stream say like they can't visualize, they have aphantasia. I will say give yourself half a year of pure visualization practice. If it is true that you have aphantasia, no matter how much effort you put in towards visualizing, within 6 months to a year time, if you can't even visualize a line, however you visualize, by the way, everybody visualizes differently, right? So however you visualize, if you can't even see a semblance of just one line on the page, I think you can say with relative confidence that, okay, yeah, I think I don't have the ability to visualize. But until you've put in minimum 6 months of consistent effort, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week of just grinding your brain to visualize, which I highly doubt any of you have actually done, right? And I did that, right? Which is why, like, I could have been the same. You know, I can visualize, right? And this is specifically like drawing visualization. I'm not saying aphantasia doesn't exist, but if like look at the fucking percentage of people who have it, right? Every third person who's a beginner drawer cannot have aphantasia. That's not how it works, and it's not self-selecting for that. Okay, there's too fucking many of you. And better yet, why even believe you have it? Why not just believe that it's something you can train? You know. That's just gonna cause a lot of that comment is probably gonna cause a lot of good old controversy. I can't believe he's invalidating my experiences. I'm not invalidating your experiences. I'm saying you haven't experienced enough to have them even have validation in the first place, right? Have you practiced enough visualization? Have you actually given it a shot? Have you spent and grueling is not the right word, sorry, but have you spent extensive amounts of effort to train this fabled visualization skill, right? However you believe that it should be done for your particular individuality. No, you haven't. You just thought you couldn't do it because you tried once fucking 3 years ago and you're like, I guess I don't have the skill, right? Then shut the fuck up and give it a shot. Because I believe that vast majority of you do not actually have aphantasia, right? Don't forget, it's a very small minority who have it. Very small minority. Not every single one of us can be minorities, except me. Look at my skin color, right? But apart from me, you cannot be a minority. It's impossible. There's only one of me. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna rest my brain, and then I keep fucking up the lips, but thankfully we're not focusing on actual proper form or anything yet. Because think about like what you need to know is I'm drawing the features as lines, not shapes, right? I don't really understand the shapes behind them. So that's not the point. The point of this exercise is to project a box onto the thing, and I'm going to the extra mile. Box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? And that's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the point of the exercise. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna draw the hard surface shapes, right? The helmet design. So clearly I need to tap into what I did last time over here, which is the large shapes, right? The large shapes. And again, I don't know if this is correct, but in terms of, yeah, this is definitely the ellipse. Like, this is definitely the center line, right? And the center line here is literally straight. We're not seeing either side of the plane. So let me, obviously, again, what am I doing? I'm trying to visualize a box, right? A sphere inside the box, perfect sphere, and then center line inside the sphere inside the box. Now, because I obviously have this to go, like, I have this, but I don't have this, you know what I mean? Like, because it is extremely difficult to try to figure out what this ellipse is. But if I were to guess, it would be something like this, right? With this being the front part of the ellipse, right? And then this is obviously the center, and then ta-da, we have something like this, right? That's the sphere, I'm going to guess, right? So, or maybe that's a bit too much, actually. Yeah, that is a bit too much. It is not that. It's more like this. It's a bit more subtle, right? And then that's the center line, and there you go. Now we have, yeah, that's a bit better. Obviously, it's getting smaller and smaller, but okay, let me try to visualize this. This is, again, where we need to really grind our brain. So what am I trying to think about? I'm trying to think about the box, the sphere inside the box, right? The perfect sphere inside the box, the center line, and then the vertical center line, and then the horizontal center line, right? And that is, yeah, it's really not that intense. This is definitely more accurate than what I did here. So with that in mind, there's the next step. So the first step is just visualizing 3 layers of perspective. Extremely difficult. That's just the first step, right? Visualize the 3 layers of perspective: box, sphere inside the box, center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? Vertical and horizontal center lines inside the sphere inside the box. Extremely difficult, right? I'm losing it consistently while I'm talking as well, because I'm also talking while I'm fucking doing this, which is another skill, which is extremely difficult, right? So yeah, talking while thinking, talking while drawing, whatever. But this is why we keep ghosting. This is why we keep forcing it in our minds. Like, we ghost, we try to get that projection, then we do it without the ghosting to try to consistently enable ourselves to provide that projection for ourselves, right? And I really want to emphasize that everybody visualizes differently, you know, and it will be like micro adjustments between you and I, and myself and somebody else, and that somebody else and somebody else. Like, everybody's gonna have their own different range of, like, oh, you think about this, but I think about this, but a little bit more of this, right? Like, for me, it's mainly on, because I've trained myself to mainly visualize it on the page, but there's like a solid 20% that's calculating in my mind, like, and seeing it in my mind's eye, right? If you lean towards aphantasia, or you do see more towards, or you actually do have aphantasia, right? It might just be like objective calculations that are occurring and that you are measuring. And that's still a very valuable skill that you can train the fuck out of, right? Look at Irshad Karim. There you go. Fuck, keep fucking whitewashing his name. The creator of Drawbox, right? He has aphantasia, and he objectively has aphantasia. Like, I think he got medically tested or some shit, right? And he can draw very, very well 3-dimensionally, right? Because he built the skill of calculating and having his particular unique brand of visualization or whatever, right? Like, because he understands the logic of 3D space as well, you know? So, but what I'm trying to say is, like, as long as you're putting in consistent effort, 5 years from now, you'll probably be able to have your own unique particular branding of visualization. So that was the first step, right? Which is just try to fucking see these 3 layers of perspective. Extremely difficult. Also, talk on top of it. Extremely difficult. But now what's the next step? Design. Pandora's box. Design, right? What the fuck does that mean? Well, that means big, medium, small. That means you have to fucking think about this shape, that shape, large shapes, small shapes, right? You have to think about function. You have to think about how they're embedded into each other. You have to make them aesthetic. Wow. So you just have to go fuck yourself, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Is it's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's very worthwhile, but it's very difficult, which is why I spend so much time just, like, now especially, it's just about thinking, what are the shapes that I want to have? Yeah, what shapes do I even want to have that are connected to this, right? Maybe we could do something like this. And I'm definitely trying to think way more in terms of large shapes, especially, right? Because this has taught me a lot in terms of just think about large shapes, right? So with that being said, let's see, maybe I could do something like, and another thing is, like, not just large shapes, but I have to constantly think about now smaller manipulations occurring inside those large shapes, right? So I've created these 2 dots, and they're supposed to signify what I'm already thinking about, but it's extremely difficult to think about logic. Again, many times I can just be like, oh yes, I have looked online and I've seen and I've internalized these concept designs for helmets. I've done it. Because I've done it, right? I've looked online and I understand. No, that's not how it works. You're gonna look online and you're gonna keep fucking being confused as to how to figure it out. But if there's one thing I can reassure you is that slowly but surely, as long as you keep trying, you will figure it out, right? So let's see. Now I just got to think in terms of like, okay, logic. Like, okay, we have something here. Do we want it cut out? Do we want it coming in? It also comes down to the shapes as well, right? Like, what type of shapes do we even want to have here? Well, I can do something like this. And of course, this is going to run out of ink while I do this. But I could do something like this. I'm calculating as well as to what these angles will look like when I do it. I fucked up that calculation on the left, so that's actually very off. But there you go. Now, because I did that, I have to make sure that this is also meeting that standard, right? But I still don't know what this is yet, right? Just vague ideas, you know? Just vague ideas, right? And then maybe, actually, we could have something jutting over here. Something like that, right? And I can't explain to you what these manipulations are yet. All I can say is that they're in perspective and they're curves or larger shapes. Like right now, this might be a box, a very manipulated box that might be attached to whatever's occurring here, right? It might be. I haven't made that decision yet, but it might be, right? Nothing's been committed to yet, but it might be. This might be a cylinder that I'm also thinking of, like what jut outs does it need? Like, does it need something to be jutting out? Does it need something does it need some other type of manipulation, right? Like, I haven't decided upon that yet. And that's why I'm trying to make sure my lines are relatively confident, because I need to make sure that I myself know what I'm trying to draw, right? But, you know, based on the principles that I have been learning, you know, something like this could very well be something legit, right? Again, now we're thinking like, okay, what happened here? Well, I tried following the silhouette, fucked it up on the right here, clearly, right? But I think maybe I can make up for it. I do something like that. There you go. See? Now we've made up for it because we've established that this is actually like a little plane that it's jutting out over. Right? Like, this is another plane. Perhaps. It's all perhaps right now. Right? Well, also, obviously, trying to think about the perspective and, like, maybe what the design of this is. Right? So there's that. And then, let's see, what else do I want? There's a lot of interesting things that I've seen, but I'm just trying to recall. Again, recall is really important, right? So we've had things embedded in each other. We've had things attached to each other. Do I want... Let's see, do I want something like this? This could establish the perspective pretty well in terms of that center horizon line. Horizontal center line. Right? This is like, okay, like now this is the bottom perspective. We've established it. It's not bad, right? But what does this mean? You know, what could this mean, right? Do I want something else? Because I have to think about the larger shapes, right? I've thought about the smaller shapes here, but I need to think about something that's connecting these, I guess. But let's see, maybe it's just something like this for the center line. Let's see. And we'll see where this goes. but I do have a vague idea now of what this kind of shapes could be, right? Now this could be something that's attaching these two, the cylinder and what else, right? Now maybe I can make this multiple rounded, which will then come inwards over here, right? So it'll be multiple rounded until it gets to that point. And this is me trying to imagine more unique manipulations that are occurring. So more than just one type of manipulation, not just multiple rounded anymore, but multiple rounding that juts inward, right? And becomes a plane like this, you know, where this is actually a subtraction, a multiple rounding that turns into a subtraction, right? Same with maybe something here that's occurring. Maybe this is just a cylinder attached. That's just lack of creativity. I want to be very honest. Like, I can't think of anything else. Right? But let's see. Multiple rounding that's attached comes into this. And this is the very difficult part about design. Look at that. It's been half an hour. I don't even know how long this video is going to be because I'm genuinely trying to take my time to understand all of this a bit better. Right? And like kind of consistently try to see that box as well. But now how do these cylinders play into it? Right? Well, we could do something like this. Right? Because who says that this shape can actually be a very large shape? That's the beauty of it. That's what I'm realizing. Is like you can have things jut out and be larger shapes than they initially were supposed to be. Right? So who says it can't be something like this? Clearly not me. And then maybe I want something jutting out, or do I want something subtracting? Let's see. Figuring out the logic for all of this is very difficult, but that's the beauty of it all, is, to be honest, is the difficulty, right? So what kind of, maybe something like this, or this juts inward as well. Right? And then these two can just be, there you go, something that is a box essentially attached on top of it. Right? And maybe this is also a little box. There you go. Something like that. But again, I need to think, like maybe this could also be an attachment, you know, that is jutting out diagonally. I'm still really trying to think about that box, by the way, and the sphere inside the box. Right, and my lines are very subpar. Trust me, I'm well aware. Which is why I'm trying to be confident in my lines as well, right? Like I'm not just giving anybody listening shit for the sake of giving them shit. I'm well aware that my lines also lack a lot in terms of confidence. It's more so me telling me, and then you are also part of that, of course. Let's see if this shape, maybe it looks decent. Maybe being the operative word. I have a deep voice. There you go. Something like this. I mean, at least it looks like there's a bit of logic now. Right? At least it looks like there's a little bit of logic now. Right, so cylinder jutting out. Let's put this into shadow, because let's say that is something that's in shadow. Right? Obviously the pen fading isn't helping, and then it's coming back now. Wonderful, you piece of shit, right when I'm fucking... right when I'm trying to make a goddamn point. But... see, let me move this. I know like way back somebody asked me if this finger flick I do, like where I constantly adjust, is intentional or is a technique. It's not a technique. It's just me constantly adjusting my grip because I'm realizing that my hands are not as further back as I would like them to be. right? So there's nothing techniquey about it. It's just, see, even now, me realizing that, hey, like I would like my fine motor skills to be even more so than they actually are. See, and then this can just be something that's manipulated in there, you know, and this can also be in shadow. But you won't know until you try, right? And this is actually a really, really good exercise. Holy fuck. At least I'm starting to get some nuance down. And then same here, like I know for a fact I could do something like this. Like this is without a doubt I'm gonna do something like this. Whether it's gonna turn out to look decent, that's not known. But let's see, like this is multiple rounding, and then the plane is changing, right? It's changing outwards. And then let's say it's coming inwards like here, right? And what do we want here? We want something to attach for sure. Maybe it can actually be attached to this. And you see how I said maybe? Because that's all you can do. Is like maybe it's attached to that. And then this is actually attached here. And that still makes sense spatially, but one thing is missing, which is this, right? So we can do something like this, and this is multiple rounded. As well, right? Like this is multiple rounding. This is the multiple rounding behind this shape. And perhaps it doesn't seem as clear. Let's see, maybe that is also part of it. There you go. Now it's actually following the perspective. We can do this line to indicate that it's multiple rounding, right? Something like that. We can do a little contour lines to indicate that they're multiple rounded. See, that already looks pretty cool. For sure. And then the beautiful thing is I realized that we can add more, right? I can add more. And these are the tiny details. Like we can have this come out and just be this giant shape like so. You know, it comes out. And perspective wise, let me think how that's gonna work, right? Just something like that, where this is actually a subtraction, right? Or maybe it actually has an addition on top of it. Who fucking knows? I don't know. Maybe that's probably the worst part of all of this. Right? But yeah, see? Little contour lines to indicate. I don't know if that one makes much sense. I don't know if this one makes much sense. But anyways, see, we're losing track. I'm obviously like noodling or doodling a little bit, right? This is all obviously like really extra fine details that maybe don't need to exist, right? Like maybe they definitely don't need to exist. But either way, big shapes, right? So I can still do something like this, where I can have this come out. That's one thing I've realized. Like we can still just have big shapes come out and make themselves very clear, right? So I just turned that into a multiple rounded shape because I changed the plane. I created a plane here that initially was not there, right? But if, again, like these are very difficult things to do. I'm able to do it now because I've practiced it for dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of hours with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of intentional repetitions and thousands of calculations occurring at all times with as much effort as possible to retain a perspective and to calculate within that perspective. Now it's more intuitive, just like it's slowly seeing the box and the sphere inside the box is becoming just slowly more intuitive when I do think about it. I haven't been thinking about it that much at all for the last 20 minutes, or like for the last 50% of this drawing, right? But slowly but surely it does become more intuitive. And look, I didn't even mean to do this, but this is already, because I've spent time trying to make logic out of what I was drawing, this ended up connecting perfectly with whatever I was drawing, like initially, right? Like what I had made prior. And you'll see my lines are still very like they're not that thick, they're not that thin, right? And it's very shaky. But there you go. That already looks so much cooler than anything I've ever made prior. And we'll just obviously bring this around like that. I say obviously, but it's starting to make more sense to me now. Like, things can be wrapped, things can consistently change, right? Like, the planes of things can consistently change for sure, right? For the time being, we'll just close this off like this, right? Even though if it's off perspective. And there you go. I know this doesn't really make much sense anymore, but for the sake of course, this being a sphere, right? We'll just add the, there you go. We'll add the sphere. There you go, see? And it's in perspective. Ta-da, right? We can even do something like that. See, like that's a little subtraction or whatever. But that's not bad. That was very fucking difficult, but you see how long that took? That took me fucking 30 minutes or 21 minutes to do. But I've come out of it with a much deeper understanding of how I can make interesting shapes, right? And here, right here, might completely fuck it up, you know, but this is just experimentation. Be like, maybe we can have this be dark and the rest is like jutting into it, you know. That looked kind of ass and it turned into shit, but experimentation, and I'm really happy because the shapes are much, even though there's a decent amount of detail, the shapes are definitely way more clear than here. Bars. Anyways, okay, I'm definitely gonna do one more. This will probably end up being like an hour and 20-minute video, but or practice or whatever. I don't give a fuck. So let me rest my brain, and then I'll come at it again. That was really good. That was really, really good. And the perspective is actually very accurate, or much more accurate. Although I did fuck this up, right? So we could actually do something like that, and then something like this. Oh, I fucked that up too. Well, it was uneven, but either way, right? Things were off, but again, all those mistakes are good things, right? They're really, really good things. Anyways, fucking hell, let me just rest my brain, bro. I need to draw at least one more of this. But anyways, yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. Oh yeah, I guess this far in the video, nobody's gonna be watching or listening. So I have some news. One of my fans is, actually this was already on stream. So if you watched part 47 of my stream, if you just go to my live streams, you go to part 47, you'll see like, literally for the first 20 minutes, I'm just talking to one of my fans. EVG Aman official or something like that. Or EVG Aman official, AAMAN. I'm pretty sure that's Aman and not Aman. There's not two A's. But whatever. Oh, let me choose a new face to draw from. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty difficult, so that's why it's pretty good. This guy's a really fucking unique face. That's quite the upturned nose you have there, my friend. Interesting. Anyways, oof. Okay, so I already know that we're seeing see, like I've gotten so much better at. Yeah, I've gotten so much better at being able to see the perspective. Right? I'm not incredible by any means, like, don't get me wrong, but I've just gotten so much better at being able. That's exactly what I've gotten better at. Just fucking stuttering my way to success, I guess. Success, I guess. Bars. But anyways, this is definitely not as. There you go. It's not as angled as I thought it was going to be, which is again an error, right? A really good error, but. Yeah, he actually has essentially stated, because he has a Discord server, and he's like, he's just completely willing to turn it into mine, like to give it to me, right? And I was just talking to him today, and we're trying to figure out. It's basically gonna be like a broken draw Discord replacement, right? Like the OG broken draw Discord that lasted fucking like 5 months. Rest in peace. 6, 7 months maybe, right? That's basically what it's gonna be. Okay, I definitely angled this way too much. Now that I look at it, I take it back. I'm a fucking idiot, right? I don't know what I'm doing. Or do I actually? We are seeing definitely a lot more of this. Wait. Definitely the bottom of his jaw for sure. I'm just trying to figure out the angle. It's probably a lot more subtle than I initially thought. Is it like this? It might be like this. Yeah, actually that is pretty accurate now. Yeah, see, basically very subtle. I love these subtle angles. They genuinely are an incredible challenge. Right? I just don't think, like, I personally think the side of his face is a lot wider. And you can see that's my line confidence issues right there. I didn't commit because I'm just kind of like, is it not? But either way, an official Viggy Discord is in the works. And by in the works, I mean he's literally like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, bro, you don't have to do anything. But I gave him ideas, and he's like, I'm just gonna do it. I was like, it's true. Like, successful people say, not that I'm successful, by the way, at all, but people always, like, I've noticed, and this is a mistake, you'll see these two are diverging, so that's a mistake on my end, but like a lot of successful people just say be generous and just give, right? So I guess in that vein, my generosity is that I'm putting out videos and I'm encouraging you people. Yeah, so I said you people, right? But I'm encouraging you guys and girls, all right? I'm encouraging you that you're capable of achieving anything, right? That's me. I guess that's what I think my channel is, right? It's like an art self-improvement channel. Self-improvement, obviously, because I'm the one improving, and it's me, myself, and I. But obviously, like, projecting that onto the audience and be like, hey, you're capable of this as well. Maybe that's my value, or that's what I'm thinking. Because he's very nice, man. He's very nice. He literally made an announcement on that Discord server, be like, this server is now gonna go to my name. Again, I'm not really shying away from my identity, but like, hey, if you want to know who I am and you really give that much of a shit, like, to know what my face looks like, it's gonna be on the Discord server, because I'm not, my Discord profile is my actual profile, right? And it was like, and it has my name and it has my face. So if you really give that much of a shit as to who I am. Also, this angle definitely is a bit off. It's way more like this. Yeah, it's definitely more like that. And if you can't see the difference between this and this, then that means you have the ability to improve that discernment for yourself, right? Through hundreds and hundreds of repetitions. But anyways, I need to visualize the sphere inside of this as well. I won't be drawing the features on this, not because I don't want to, but because it's been 47 minutes, and it's probably best that I focus on this, right? Like, just holding that box projection in my mind. But yeah, like, he literally made an announcement, be like, I'm transferring the ownership to blank, my name, right? He's a great guy and he needs the channel more than I do, which is a very kind statement. Again, like, and there's that part of you that is like, don't be so thankful, blah, 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 right? Because, like, you're fucking raised to be nice, but then people are like, don't be too nice, but it's like, I couldn't help but be nice. I'm like, holy shit, thank you so much, brother. Seriously, thank you so much. What the fuck? You don't see that. Yeah, this angle's way off. Now that I look at how I'm drawing the eyebrows in relation to the actual reference, but yeah, I'm just very thankful, and that's what I'm trying to say, is like, it's incredible how just you can foster a community without even realizing. It's like, yes, I'm not retarded. Of course I've realized I'm fostering a community, right? And of course I realize that this community will be huge, at one point. And of course I realize that I do provide value. I'm not so humble and I'm not so retarded to be like, little old me. But at the same time, really, little old me, like, it's just like, really, what's surprising, right? It hasn't even been a year since I started my channel. Sorry, it has. It's only been a bit over a year. That's what I meant to say. Since I started my channel, and already it's garnering, I guess, good faith of those. And I guess that is like that's if we're going to be very pragmatic and very, like, cold and analytical about it, right? Garnering good faith is a part of becoming a brand and then selling them things. Right? I garner good faith now, so later on, you're all like, well, he's helped me so much. I don't mind paying $500,000 out of my wallet. Don't mind if I do draw with your guidance in this course online. I know I said I didn't want to draw the features, I ended up drawing them anyways. Well, either way, this is super off. right? Very off. But it feels good. Again, it feels good. It feels good to know that I've been pretty fucking off, right? And again, like, did I really visualize a sphere? No, this sphere is gonna be too big as well. So this front plane is way more narrow. This front plane is actually more like this, right? Yeah, it's more like, not, yeah, similar to that, and then this one's like way longer. Right, sorry, like, let's just say it's like this. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's something like that. Way longer. And obviously this angle's off too, because I keep fucking up the angle. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, yeah, the front plane's way shorter because the center line's like here, and you barely see this. You don't see this other eye at all because it's being hidden by his brow and his giant nose, right? And then you have his other brow, and then his other eye, and then his lips. So that makes sense to me. It's a good thing I made that mistake. You learn a lot. But yeah, it's been 50 minutes, so let's just do this last helmet drawing, and I'm gonna, or hard surface wrapping, whatever, right? And then I'm going to, here, we can actually even do something like this to really hone in the point that we can make any manipulations we want. See? Look at that. Oh, like, look at that. That made such a huge difference again, right? And that's just a subtraction that I'm implementing now because a connection has been made of sorts, right? So it's crazy. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's insane to me that somebody wants to do something so kind. Because I know hosting and he literally said, don't worry about the money. I don't know if I'm outing him, doxing him, or whatever. I'm just trying to, honestly, all I'm trying to say is, like, the kindness of people is very shocking and welcome, and it's surprising that it's come my way so soon. I expected kindness to occur, and I expected respect and appreciation for my efforts to occur, but I was projecting that at, like, the fucking 10-year mark when I'm, like, actually good, and people are like, oh my god, oh wow, please diddle me. I'll be like, I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend, please leave me alone. And then comes the fame and the bitches. But, you know, with the fame and the bitches comes... Is there a rhyme for this? The dames who give you stitches. Yes. This is, like, I guess, like, women who beat you up. I don't fucking know. Alright, like, crazy crowd. I don't know, bro. This is not... It's not really who I am. I'm not a rapper. I'm genuinely not a rapper. Hashtag. Right? But... Okay, so this is the box, this is the sphere, right? I guess this time around I want to practice having shapes that are, yeah, jutting out in a different way. We've done a lot of angly jut outs, and obviously I'll probably continue that, but in terms of, and oh yeah, like, I think about the horizon, the horizontal line, the vertical line. I haven't done much of that this time around, right? So, This is most important. This last 10-20 minutes I have to draw, I'm really going to try to calculate as much as I can. It's actually crazy how badly I messed up the angling. It's insane, you know? I love this. I love that there's always more to learn. Like, it's incredible. Just always more nuances to genuinely understand. Right? I mean, I'm just looking at the perspective right now. Like, I'm basically looking at the guy's face, and then I'm closing one eye, and I'm bringing my pen close to my face, and I'm just kind of trying to I'm literally just drawing the box over his head, and I'm trying to calculate the minor axis of the ellipses on the two planes to see what's occurring, right? Like, what is actually happening. So I guess I explained it out loud, so might as well continue explaining it out loud. Yeah, I'm just following his eye line to his ear line, and I'm putting an ellipse around that plane, and then I'm following the side plane. I'm trying to understand what the sphere is, right? I'm trying to understand what the sphere is. It's definitely... I see. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I think I got it. I mean, got it in the sense that I think I have a better understanding. Not that, oh yes, I've understood everything, oh my god. Right, none of that. But it's something like, I believe it's something like this. Like, this is the center line, the horizontal center line, and this is the vertical center line, right? And I've drawn plenty of things like this, but what the fuck's wrong with this pen now? Okay, it's time to go back to the other pen now that I let dry yesterday, that I let soak up yesterday. Watch, now this is gonna be nice, and there you go, nice and wet. That's just how Biggie likes it. Oh yeah, Pentel and fucking Scream. What? I was trying so hard to say something like what's it called? Like sexually invigorating, and then all I could do was moan out the words fucking scream. That's not only gay, it's cringe as well. So feel free. If you found that equally as cringe, please just type in that was pretty cringe. NGL SMH my head. Right? I would really appreciate everybody to type that out if you found that extremely gay and cringe. Right? Emphasis on the cringy gay, but. And then this is the box. That was fucking cringe as shit, bro. I was trying to make like a funny joke. I didn't commit to the weird noise I was making, but then I didn't commit to like I didn't commit to the noise, and I didn't commit like if I was like, oh yeah, scream for me, daddy. Like if I did something like that, it's like, oh, he's just being retarded, ha ha ha, Biggie. But instead, it was like partially my normal voice and then partially a weird voice, and it's just like this guy's just retarded. This guy is genuinely like fucking uncomfortable to listen to. Well, I may be uncomfortable to listen to, but don't forget who has to live with this for the rest of their life, right? And this is a beautiful segue from going like, wow, I really appreciate all the kindness, to being like, well, holy shit, I'm fucking pathetic. I can't even make a good joke, right? Scream for me, daddy, indeed. Anyways, I guess this is the legacy I'm building, right? The archival legacy of Viggy, right? Of Viggy Vodka, the Art Progress channel. He taught me so much. He inspired me, and he let me know that I could literally achieve his level of skill. But I never want to be like him. I never want to be like him. Okay, so what shapes do we want? Well, I'm gonna try something bold. I'm gonna try something gold. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try something. Mold? Yes. Dry something mold. Right, mold is technically dry, I'm pretty sure. Is it dry or wet? Who fucking knows? Okay, but let's think about the box. Let's keep going back to the reference to make sure I understand. Think about the center lines. Okay, so this should be a bit better, right? Yeah, this should be a bit better. Let's see. Okay, because that is definitely the perspective. It's definitely a perspective of all time, but I have a huge problem visualizing perspectives like this. So I want to try something very different. Let's see. And I'm already fucking up the perspective. This is great. This is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. I know I haven't done much yet, but just trying to visualize this is so difficult because my mind wants to do this. My mind is seeing this box, okay? That's the box my mind is seeing, or wants to see really badly, and is like forcing that. But the box and the three lines I need to see is this. Right? I need to see something closer to this, and closer to this. Right? I don't know why I sound like the closer to this, but yeah, it's something like that. Like this is the extent of what I need to see. But lots of trouble occurring with seeing that. So that's where ghosting comes into play, right? Ghosting is the good old ghosting, right? And then the cylinder inside that, right? And then obviously ghosting the ellipses, right? The center line as well. And also trying to make sure that I understand where that center line is. So I guess like in this case, even though I wanted to do something else, it would be best to establish the perspective, right? It probably would be best to establish the perspective. Shit, I fucked that up. Let's see. Well, I didn't fuck it up because I could just do something like this. Let's see, something like that. And these are all like, all these lines mean something to me, right? All these lines mean something in terms of me understanding the perspective, right? Every single one of them. But the thing is like, the lines mean something, but at the same time, I keep losing their meaning because I keep losing the perspective, right? Which is why visualizing the box, visualizing the sphere inside the box, and then visualizing the center lines is so fucking important, right? Because that is what is going to allow me to actually understand what the fuck I'm trying to do, you know? So right, something like this maybe. Let's do something like that. This is definitely going to be my hardest drawing yet. But this is also probably going to be the most rewarding if I get it down. But again, like if being the operative word, right? Maybe some sort of addition with subtractions here. Right? Addition with subtraction. Something like that. Do these lines really mean anything? No. See, I fucked that up. But we'll leave that. Right? And then we can have this. Again, I lost the perspective again, lost the perspective again. Okay, so we can have this come out like so. I'm just trying to think, right? It's something like this way. So the sphere I need to make sure makes sense as well as my manipulations around those spheres. Something like this, maybe, right? And usually, like, I do go with the center line first, but because this time I'm actually having such a hard time seeing what the fuck is going on, that... Let's see, so... Yeah, I don't really see the box, but that doesn't mean I can't do something like this, right? There you go. That already makes things a little bit better, at least for me. But this is going to be like a reverse problem solving of sorts. Right, because I'm obviously kind of making shit up as I go. And my lines will also have to follow suit and be equally as clean. And again, I'm still really trying hard to think about that box and the sphere inside the box. And this is helping a little bit, but again, I can't see this box that well. Like, I actually can't see this box and the sphere inside of it that well at all, right? Like, this is actually completely fucked. Which is why I'm just trying to make sense of it all. Right? Just trying to make sense of it all. Really trying to make... And don't forget, the fucking box behind this is fucking with me too. Like, that's really... Like, think about that. I'm talking, I'm thinking of this box, the sphere inside the box, and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box while drawing. And the fucking box with the goddamn center lines behind it is fucking with me as well. Right? Somebody pity me, please. Anybody. Leave a like and subscribe if you pity me. I laugh, but seriously though. Let's see, well, I didn't even mean for it to turn into something like this, but now I have to commit, so let's see. So if that's the perspective, I can do something like there you go, and then yeah, see, I'm really having trouble seeing this box. Something like that, right? Who knows if that's correct? Maybe it's directionally correct, which is all that matters right now, is being directionally correct. Right? Who knows? Who knows what this is going to turn into? Right? Who even knows if this is a subtraction or an addition? That has not been confirmed yet. Right? At this point, it's looking like it'll be a subtraction, but don't know yet. Let's see, and then I want something that, again, like, seeing this box is extremely fucking difficult. Jesus Christ. We'll have that cut out. Fuck. Have that cut out. And then we'll have it come in there. And let's see, what else do I want to do? I don't think I got the perspective at all here. So I'm definitely doing this perspective again until I get it down, because it's been extremely difficult for me to see. So let's see. I think it should have been more this way. Well, I made no difference apart from fucking up the line, but let's see. We'll just do something like this. There you go. And then we'll have to replicate it on the other side, right? So that's my perspective. There you go. That's my perspective. And what's happening here, actually? Is this jutting out? Like, is this jutting out in a particular angle, or... Yeah, I definitely didn't get the perspective right at all. Yeah, I definitely didn't get the perspective right at all, because this actually should be way up here. Right, there you go. And then it goes down. Yeah, there you go. That's much better. It still isn't correct at all. Like, see, I ended up fucking drawing in this perspective anyways. Or did I? Yeah, I did. Oh my god. Okay, so... What an insane struggle, bro. But either way, we're going to just go with it. At this point, we've literally fucked the perspective up the bumhole. So, we're just gonna have to... We're just gonna have to commit. Okay, what's happening here on this? Oh, well, clearly on this side there's... something like this occurring. Right, we just turn that into like an addition. And then it's coming down, and that's when we don't see the attachment. It's like something like that, right? Oh yeah, I fucked this up to the moon and back. But that's amazing. Like, I'm struggling so hard right now. I can't even explain how much I'm struggling to make this equivalent, right, in terms of just the shapes. And then B, make it, what's it called? Like, see the fucking box while I do this as well. Right? I'm really struggling to do that. And also, I fucked up the perspective again. And obviously, I only see that after the fact. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. We're just gonna have to deal with it. And then what else? Well, I guess we can just have this at least follow the perspective of the ellipse. We can at least do that much. Right? Right? I can do that much, right? That's completely off. I'm just gonna have to, we're gonna leave this shape as it is. And I guess we will turn it into, yeah, into a multiple rounding addition, right? But dude, like, I literally ended up making this. I said my mind wants to do it, and then I ended up... That's an amazing mistake. That is like the biggest mistake I could have made too, regarding the perspective, right? This is what I wanted to see. I ended up seeing this. Do you see that? What a hilarious mistake. But you know what? If this is what's happening, at least the least I can do is try to make some sort of functionality out of it, right? So we could have something come out this way, and then jut out like so. Right? And the thing I've seen in like other things now is like, why not have more to these manipulations, right? We could have something that it's also subtraction here. So it's a sphere, sorry, it's a cylinder with multiple rounding at the edge, right? Let's just also say there's a little cutout there, and then there's a subtraction occurring within the sphere, and the top is closed off. And then let's just say coming out of this, right? Because I could have thought of that. I didn't until now, obviously. But coming out of this is this connecting back, Look at that. It's connecting back to this, what it was encompassed in. Now that doesn't make sense yet, but hopefully I can make it make sense now. Such as something like that. I still don't think that makes sense, but the idea is there with this, which is that things can connect into themselves, right? Like those are the additional manipulations that can occur, right? And then we can also perhaps have this wrap around. Yeah, my mind, it's like I train myself so much with this bottom view now, like this particular bottom view, that clearly it's actually something that my brain sort of responds to and constantly tries to see, even if it doesn't exist. Right? So that's a good thing and a bad thing, which means I've trained the difficult perspective, so it's not so horrendous that I can't do it properly. Like basically, I've trained the very difficult perspectives, but now I just need to train the subtle aspects of that perspective, right? Which is this. It's still a bottom perspective, but now this is extremely subtle and it's tilted in an angle that I'm not familiar with, right? So all good things, all really good things. Like that's a good thing at the end of the day, right? So let's see. Maybe we want this to curve inwards, like so. If that's happening there, then it'll just have to come out like so here, and then same thing, right? Let's see what is happening. There you go, like that. There you go. See, I'm at least starting to understand the concept of these larger shapes better, which does make me, dare I say, proud of myself. Right? Dare I say proud of myself? You know, who knows? Who knows if I'm even allowed to be proud of myself? Right? Isn't that a feeling only reserved to those who actually accomplish things in life? Right? I thought being in pursuit was illegal. Right? But here we are. That's something that's coming out as well, and we'll have this, of course, go with it. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do something like this. This isn't gonna be the most flattering of designs, but if I can make something out of it, then I'll be okay with that. Right? And let's see. Something like this, right? Oh, it's been an hour and 12 minutes. Okay, I should wrap it up. This bottom part is definitely very mediocre compared to the other ones. I'm well aware. Like this, I can't really think of much, genuinely. But that's ideation, right? You're not always going to be able to think of something. And thankfully, I'm not a concept artist. It's not my job to output something for the fucking yes. And also, I fucked this up because if that's going back that way, then this should also be going back this way. So there's a lot of perspective mistakes here. Actually, no, I fucked that up too. That should not be tilted that way. I should be seeing the bottom of this. It should be like that. Yeah, it should be like that. But I guess since I've already kind of made it like so, maybe I can fraud and be like, oh no, it is supposed to be like that. Okay, that actually ended up looking a bit better. But I made a lot of mistakes here, which is good. Again, it's a good thing. When I say but I made a lot of mistakes, I'm basically saying but I made a lot of mistakes that are going to help me later down the line. But this one's definitely a mess. I wonder if there's just like a large shape I could put here that could not fix it, but maybe just make things a little bit more tangible in terms of understanding. Okay, let's just try to follow that. There you go, something like that. Right? It ended up being like that, but I feel as if with this one I can actually make a difference. Or maybe I can't, but why don't we try to problem solve and make a difference? Nope, I ended up making the same mistake again. Wow, I ended up making the exact same mistake as that one. So clearly I struggle with like this type of angle. Kind of looks like ass now, right? Definitely. But I guess this is how we learn. Not even I guess, this is how we learn. It's just a fact that this is how we learn. There you go. Something like that. Yeah, I definitely struggle with that angle. So that's a mistake on my end. I just got to make sure to understand it better. And let's just add like a little thingy there, I guess. And we could, I guess, maybe that makes sense. Nope, that does make sense. Whatever. Whatever. I don't know. That kind of went to shit at the bottom there, but yeah, see? So like this was good, this was shit, this was okay. And I ended up just completely fucking up the angle, right? Completely fucking up the angle here. Just to make it kind of obvious that, hey, this is the bottom. At least we can add something like this. Right there you go. Well, that's where I fucked up again. It's like, this doesn't really look like the bottom. So, you know what? This was pretty good in the sense that, like, I think I got just the ability to design a little bit more, still think about things, try to think about function. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. Oh, I forgot to add this as well. There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's like a little handle thing, right? Might as well make this pitch black and this pitch black. Maybe it'll make it look more like a handle. Nope, it actually didn't really do anything and probably made it worse. But either way, I mean, good design practice, right? Horrible perspective, right? In a good way, like I could not see it at all. So I'm definitely gonna stick to this angle until I can really see that properly. And again, like I barely saw the perspective for this one. It's amazing. Anyways, but I'll be back. I'm done with this page, so I'll be back in like 25 minutes. Actually, I might play piano first. I don't know. But I will be back. And then we'll continue drawing. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you put a lot of effort in. I hope you really tried. I hope whatever rambling my bullshit aside, you were able to focus on your efforts. Keep me fucking muted, I swear. I don't know. But with that being said, right, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing. And please, give me money.